Hi, I'm Allie with PotomacBeads, and in today's tutorial we get the honor of doing a pair of earrings by Rita featuring the DropDuo beads. We're going to be learning how to use the DropDuo beads and connect into 2 holes, as well as how to bezel set a rounduo bead. If you need the materials, jot down the list from earlier, gather them up, and join me to make Rita's fun design, the Dropping Blossoms. So to begin the DropDuo blossom, what I want you to do is to have on your size 10 or 12 needle about 3 feet of beading thread, so that way you'll have enough to do both of your earrings. We're going to begin using the DropDuos in both the smaller as well as the larger rounded. The larger rounded are 5 by 7, and then those smaller ones are 3 by 6. To begin, I want you to pick up one of your 11-0 seed beads. And then we're going to pick up the rounded or the larger DropDuos by the smaller section. So they have 2 holes. You're going to be picking them up by the smaller hole at the top. And we're going to separate these 6 DropDuos with an 11-0 seed bead right along the middle. Now I have not put on a stop bead for this project because I'm going to tie it around in a circle in order to get my initial shape. So I have on here on my needle and thread 6 of my DropDuos along with 6 of my 11-0 seed beads. Going to the bottom of the thread, I'm going to simply tie this into a circle or into a loop. When I tie it into the loop, I'm going to make sure not to get any seed beads attached to the loop or involved in that. Give a nice tight pull, and that gets our first little opening section. I didn't leave a huge tail because I'm going to come back to that and tie on and end the actual project, but I don't need too much because I'm not doing anything else with that thread. From here, I'm going to go through the DropDuo that is closest, through that same middle hole, and then I'm going to do what's called a step up, going from that top hole of the DropDuo to the bottom, or the bigger hole of the DropDuo. This is going to expose a little bit of thread around the side of that particular DropDuo, but as we continue the design, you really won't see it. From here, what we're going to do is add 2 DropDuos, again, through the smaller portion or the point of the DropDuo, and this time it's those smaller ones. We're going to add 2 of them on, and then go around in a circle, catching your needle and going into the second hole of the next DropDuo from the first round. So you're going to see 2 beads kind of fit right and perfectly in there. And Rita has it spaced out exactly right that 2 of those do sit incredibly perfect as you're going around the circle. So we started out with 6 of our rounded DropDuos, and now we're adding 12 because we're adding 2 per DropDuo section here of our smaller one. So I have 6 on. I'm going to continue adding 3 more, and then I'll show you how we do our step up to get to basically embellishing and adding an extra DropDuo at the bottom, as well as adding our finding here at the top. After adding the last 2 DropDuos in, you're going to be coming out of that second hole of one of your larger rounded duos, and we are going to sew through the first hole that you've already sewn through of the first 2 smaller DropDuos that you put on this time around the pendant or the earring. We're then going to do a step up again, just like we did with the rounded DropDuos. We're going to go from the bottom hole to the outer top hole, coming out between the 2 rounduo beads here. From here, we're going to go around the project, and we are going to decorate the outside with 15s. In her original design, Rita did not decorate, and she kept open the actual DropDuos here for this DropDuo blossom. She does go in and put the round duo in the middle, and I'll show you how to do that. But if you do not like the actual version of the seed beads around it, and you want to keep it more simple and have that extra area open, you can do so. What I'm going to do is add 1 more drop into the design, picking up 1 more of the smaller drop to be a teardrop at the bottom. And I'm going to sew from that first DropDuo into the second DropDuo that sits right beside. That's going to put that point of the third DropDuo right along the bottom here. Again, if you do not want to add any seed beads along the edge, take your needle and thread back through the rounded, or the drop duos here, through the top hole of the rounded drop duos and back to come out the middle. What I'm going to do now is go around the outer edge and decorate it with 15O seed beads in my gold color. We're then going to add our round duo in the middle of the project. So I have some 15Os here in that gold color, and we're going to use these to decorate the outer edge. Between the second hole of the drop duos in the purple color, that's that white iris, we're going to add 3 15s onto our needle. Go ahead then and sew through that first drop duo that's next in line. Go ahead and add 1 more 15 between the 2 drop duos. And now what we're going to do in order to get kind of that scalloped look in the pendant, you're going to add 4 15s onto your needle. Sew back through that 15 that you just added above that drop duo. Give that a nice tight pull to kind of pull that 15 back in place there. And you can see that arching effect then that you get. 4 more of the 15s go onto the piece through the drop duo, the first one there, back towards the center. That's going to place those 4 15s right along the top edge. So that's how we're going to go through and actually decorate the outside of those drop duos. To get to the next one, go through the 15 that sits between the 2 drop duos that we added originally and out the second drop duo. And that's going to sit you above and right outside of the pink rounded drop duo. Again, 3 15s go on into the next section of your purple drop duos, or your smaller ones here. And as I go into those then, I'm going to add 1 more 15 between the drop duos. And then I start kind of that figure 8 or that circling around, where I add 4 of the 15s, go back through that middle 15, 4 more, and then back through that first drop duo, now towards kind of the rounded section. When I come out the middle between the 2 purple drop duos, I want to sew through that 15 that sits between them in order to grab it a little bit more, and then sew through the second hole of that second drop duo. Again, that gets my nice neck scallop. For the next one, what we're actually going to do is add our wire guard as we come out the top between the 2 drop duos. So I still have 3 of my 15s that I'm adding, going through that first drop duo in the purple color. And then when I come out the middle here, instead of putting on a 15, I'm going to use an 11. The 11 in that Crystal Lab color is going to sit right between those drop duos. And I'm going to add my wire guard. Before I start using the wire guard, I want you, like me, to take your fingers and just kind of pinch that together, so that way it sits more together rather than separated. Once you have that pinch, go ahead up through the wire guard, through one of the holes, come down the other side of that wire guard, and back down through the 11O seed bead. So you're adding the 11, going through the wire guard, coming back down the wire guard, and back down through the 11. Make sure your thread goes right into that track of the wire guard and sits right in the middle there. Give a nice tight pull so you know you have no extra thread showing, and then go through that second purple drop duo. That's going to get that wire guard sitting right in the middle, which we'll use then to attach to our ear wire. From here, I'm going to continue on with 3 more 15s, and then decorate the last 2 little flourishes, or the last 2 little blossom petals here, with that same rotation of a 15 in between, and then rounding out along the sides before moving in to decorate the last one. As you add in the last 3 seed beads that sit right on the edge of the rounded drop duo here, you're going to sew through that first purple drop duo as well as the extra one that sits along the edge. You can either keep this empty and have it be its own little drop at the edge, or if you would like to, you can decorate those empty holes. And I'm just going to put on 2 of my 15s, go through the bottom hole of that drop duo at the base, put on 2 more 15s, go through the top hole of that bead there, as well as the second hole of the other purple drop duo. Give a nice little tight yank there, and that completes the outerness kind of that blossom pendant. Again, if you want to keep it without the seed beads on the outer edge and have a little bit more of that floral design and that floral look, you'd pick back up with us right where we are here and continue on the design. What I'm going to do now is add and kind of link that round duo into the middle of the design. So as I was saying prior, if you don't want to design, or if you're here with us, we're going to sew through, which is going to expose some thread on the outer edge of that drop duo there. And we're going to sew through the top hole of those 2 drop duos, sew through the bottom hole of the pink drop duo, and then go back up to the top hole and through the 11O seed bead that sits directly above your flourish and directly below your actual ear wire section. From here, we're going to add our round duo on to our needle. Doesn't matter which hole you're going through. And we're going to sew through the top 11O, starting with the side that the thread is coming out of on the bottom 11O. Coming out that 11O then, go through the second hole of the round duo, and also through the 11O below, starting on the left side and going towards the right. That's going to lock that round duo right in the middle. And again, here's another section where if you don't want to get it as decorated along the inner edge, you could stop at this point here now too. To decorate the round duo, I'm going to go back up through that first hole of the round duo. And when I'm coming out that first hole now, I'm going to pick up some of my 15O seed beads. I'm going to pick up 5 of them. I'm going to take those 5 and decorate the right-hand side of the round duo, going from that top hole coming out, going into the bottom of that same hole and round out the design. That's going to stick those 5 beads right along the outer edge. Adding 3 more 15s, I'm then going to go down through that second hole on the left. From there, I'm going to add 5 more 15s, which are going to go on the left-hand side of the round duo. So I'm going to go from the bottom hole of that round duo up to the top of that same hole and out. And that's going to put that 5 on the outer edge. 3 more get added here then at the bottom. I go up to the top, so we're basically going the whole way around the round duo, up to the top. And after you come out the top, you're going to round out this whole design, pulling the 15 so they really make the round duo look like it is bezel set. So I have my needle now coming out the top of the round duo, and I'm going to circle the whole way around all of those 15O seed beads. So I'm literally stitching through every 15O that I added, which is going to be 16 in total. So I'm not adding any beads right now, I'm just basically making it create a loop and look a little bit more joined. Once you get back up to the top and you have it looked completely joined, you're going to come down the left-hand hole of the round duo bead and out through the bottom of that round duo. From here then, I'm going to take my thread and needle, and I'm actually not sewing through anywhere. I'm just literally taking the thread and needle to the back of the project. And what that's going to allow me to do is tie that thread off right next to the starter thread. So I can take my needle off my project right now, flipping the piece over. I'm going to take the starter piece and the ending piece and just tie knots right over left, left over right to get a nice square knot that's going to hang out in the back of the piece. This piece is actually going to be reversible, so you have the front that has the actual kind of bezel set rounduo, or you have the more simple back. Flipping it over then, you're not going to see that knot because it does have, it is to the back of the project. From here with that knot, I'm going to take my thread burner or my thread zap and go ahead in, and you want to leave a little bit of a tail, especially because it's to the back, so you're not really going to see that burned down thread. If you do want to make it reversible, you may want to keep your needle on and separate out the threads so they're actually ending in 2 different spaces. And then I'm going to burn down that thread end. Once I burn down the thread ends, I want to make sure that I'm not actually burning the thread. I'm just going to stick the ear wires on, and then I have my cute and completed DropDuo blossom earrings. Thanks so much for joining me, and thanks Rita for the cute design working with the DropDuo beads. Keep in mind, if you want any of the materials, we have that list in the beginning as well as below the video near the like button. You can check out the description box to get the links to purchase them from us online. In addition to that, if you like the videos and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also stay informed and connected and grow in the beading community by becoming a member of our beading group for beading and jewelry making. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, have fun creating.